Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Friday. We hope you've got off to a good start this morning, ready to get stuck into your schoolwork. I thought I'd come outside today and read you a story since it's so lovely and cool and we've had beautiful rain. Today our story is Wombat Stew, and it's written by Marcia K. Vaughan, and it's illustrated by Pamela Lofts, and she actually illustrated Koala Lou that we read yesterday, so that's interesting. And if you are recording the code for the Premier's Reading Challenge, which I hope you are, then the number or the ID is 4925. So that's for Wombat Stew. Oh, and we should also say good morning to my friends. They've come along again this morning, Blinky, Bill and Nutsy. Hello, you two. Thank you for coming outside with me. All right, Wombat Stew. One day on the banks of a billabong, a very clever dingo caught a wombat and decided to make wombat stew, gooey, brewy, yummy, chewy wombat stew. Oh, Wally! Wally the wombat has popped in. Oh, he must think it's about him and the dingo's going to eat him up. Wally, it's not about you, okay? You just relax and enjoy the story. It's only made up. Good boy, Wally. Platypus came ambling up the bank. Good day, Dingo, he said, snapping his bill. What is all that water for? I'm brewing up a gooey, chewy stew with that fat wombat, replied Dingo, with a toothy grin. If you ask me, said Platypus, the best thing for a gooey stew is mud. Big blops of billabong mud. Blops of mud? Dingo laughed. What a good idea. Righto, in they go. So Platypus scooped up big blops of mud with his tail and tipped them into the billy can. How are you going there, Wal? You right? Don't be too sad. Around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang. Wombat stew, gooey, brewy, yummy, chewy, wombat stew. Waltzing out from the shade of the ironbarks came Emu. She arched her graceful neck over the brew. Oh ho, Dingo, she fluttered, what have we here? Gooey, chewy wombat stew, boasted Dingo. If only it were a bit more chewy, she sighed. But don't worry, a few feathers will set it right. Feathers, Dingo smiled. That would be chewy. Righto, in they go. Around and around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang. Wombat stew, crunchy munchy for my lunchy, wombat stew. Old blue-tongued lizard came sliding off his sun-soaked stone. Silly Dingo, he hissed. There are no flies in this stew. Yeah. Can't be wombat stew without crunchy flies in it. And it stuck out its bright blue tongue. There's a lot to be said for flies, agreed Dingo, rubbing his paws together. Righto, in they go. So Lizard snapped 100 flies from the air with his long tongue and flipped them into the gooey, chewy stew. What about Wombat Wally? Do you want to come and sit on my lap so that you can see the book? Because you're getting left out behind there. We don't want you to feel too sad. It's only a story. Around and around and around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang. Wombat stew, crunchy, munchy for my lunchy. Wombat stew. Up through the red dust popped echidna. Oh, oh my goodness. Eric, how did you know we were talking about echidnas? Goodness gracious, are you all right over there? Now, Eric, this is not about you either. Just like it's not about Wally, it's only a story. Do you want to come and sit on my lap? Okay. So nice to have all of our friends here this morning. Wait a bit, not so fast, he bristled, shaking the red dust from his quills. Now, I've been listening to all this advice, and take it from me. For a munchy stew, you need slugs and bugs and creepy crawlies. Dingo wagged his tail. Why, I should have thought of that. Righto, in they go. So Echidna dug up all sorts of creepy crawlies and dropped them into the gooey, chewy, crunchy stew. Look at all of those bugs. The very clever dingo stirred and stirred, all the while singing, Wombat stew, hot and spicy, oh so nicey, wombat stew. Just then the sleepy-eyed koala climbed down the scribbly gum tree. Look here, he yawned. Any bush cook knows you can't make spicy stew without gum nuts. Leave it to a koala and think of gum nuts. Leave it to a koala to think of gum nuts, Dingo laughed and licked his whiskers. Righto, in they go. And into the gooey, chewy, crunchy, munchy stew, Koala shook lots and lots of gum nuts. Aha! Cried Dingo. Now my stew is missing only one thing. What's that? Asked the animals. That fat wombat. Block your ears, Wall. It's all right. It's not about you. Wait! Stop! Hang on, Dingo. You can't put that wombat in the stew yet. Why not? You haven't tasted it. Righto, I'll taste it. And that very clever dingo bent over the billy and took a great big slurp of stew. Ah! I'm poisoned, he howled. You've all tricked me. And he dashed away deep into the bush, never again to sing Wombat stew, gooey, brewy, yummy, chewy, wombat stew. That naughty dingo, they got him, didn't they? And I'm so happy that our beautiful friends survived the story, our beautiful Wally the wombat and Eric the echidna. What did you think of that book, Nutsy and Blinky? You like it? Good. All right. Thank you for joining me this morning, boys and girls. Work hard, get everything done that you can, and make sure you have fun. I'll see you later on.